in this little town. This is rather personal, but God, Carol and I went together when we were quite young. My mother allowed me to date quite young. And I don't know why she did. She was pretty strict otherwise. But I remember Carol and I talked about some very private things. And it seems that we had this feeling that God meant for us to be together. And he sent us the same place, this little tiny town, at the same time.
Mm.
So we went to school together, and we always seemed to kind of have a special feeling for each other. And so we both maybe dated a little bit, but not much, because we seemed to like each other rather than a lot of different people. And I remember we lived on this lake, and it was in this little town. It was a resort place. And we had a paddle boat on that lake. And I remember that Carl and some of the other high school boys would get on the top of this paddle boat and wait till it got way out in the lake where it was very deep, and they would dive off the top of that. And the person that run the boat didn't like it because it was dangerous, but they did it anyway.
Teenage boys will always be teenage boys in any era.
Yeah.
Be doing dangerous things.
Yeah. And Carol's grandmother. What? You haven't seen these pictures up here. You've seen them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the lady was his grandmother, and the man was his grandfather. And the lady was the one that started the church in North Webster, in the little town. So she was a saint. She really was. People from all the churches there respected her. And Carl was 14 when they allowed him to drive her around to pray for sick people when they would call her, when he was 14. So, you know, they stretched it a little bit there. But anyway, she didn't drive, and he did. And his father worked, and his grandfather was always busy. He was kind of like my grandfather, always doing something different. And they would have guests a lot of times to eat at their house. And he had this sign out in front of his house that said free information on it. It was quite a big sign. You could see it. You wanted people to see it. And I remember when I would go over there, when I would be invited over there to eat when they had company. And if anybody would come and stop, he'd keep watching and watching. He'd go out there and spend a lot of time telling them where to go and how and all that stuff. He had a business of making cement blocks to sell in these big cement urns.
Okay.
And he sold insurance also. And he was always working to help our little town be improved.
Oh.
He saw that we got a wonderful modern schoolhouse. And then he this other thing I was going to tell you that he did. I can't think now what it was.